Yo, what is good, YouTube? Krishan checking back in with another video. In the first update of the day, we have a recent update from Samson Dauda. Now, I guess Samson heard everyone talking about whether or not he's going to be in shape for this year's Olympia. So Samson did want to show off a little bit of vascularity. And Samson said his personal goal for this year's Olympia is just to finish within the top 10, especially in this competitive lineup, even though a lot of people have him placing higher than that. But let me know in the comment section below, where do you guys see him placing at this year's show? Now, switching over to Michal Krizo, we have a recent update from him 5 days out from this year's Olympia. And people have been pumping a lot of hype into Michal Krizo. And after Krizo won the Prague Pro, his main two knocks were posing and conditioning. But within the last week, I've heard numerous people place Krizo in the top 10. A few people even put him in the top 5. Now, this guy definitely has some crazy genetics, and he could be up there. But I personally just think he needs more overall polish before he can be considered a top 6 guy. But if Krizo is able to improve posing and conditioning from Prague to this year's Olympia, I think a top 10 finish is possible. Now, switching over to Rafael Brandao, we have a recent update from him. Do you guys think it's possible for Rafa to find himself within their top 10? A lot of people compare him to Nick Walker, Hunter Labrada over on Instagram, and Rafa looks pretty good in the online comparisons. But how will he look standing next to Labrada, next to Nick Walker? And I personally believe that Rafa will have a great showing at this year's Olympia. He's really going to make an impact as long as he's able to come in with his conditioning spot on. If he comes in absolutely peeled, he's going to be a very hard guy to beat paired with that structure. And in the next update of the day, we have a recent update from Blessing Awodibu. Now, I will be the first one to say over the course of this prep, I've been worried about Blessing numerous times. I honestly didn't think he would be looking this good a couple days out from this year's show. So huge shout out to this guy. It looks like Blessing is probably going to bring the best package of his career. And if he's able to improve on the Indy Pro package, this guy can be a serious threat. Let me know in the comment section below, where do you guys have Blessing Awodibu placing at this year's Olympia? And in other bodybuilding news, I wanted to let you guys know that AJ Sims, also known as Cement Factory, is no longer working with Hassan Mostafa. Now, this wasn't the decision of Hassan from my understanding. AJ announced that he isn't working with any more open IFBB pros. And this isn't really shocking news because AJ already hinted at this after he stopped working with Justin Rodriguez. But just seeing what he did with Justin and also finally getting Hassan in shape, AJ definitely did some great work with these guys. Now, switching over to Classic Physique, we have a recent update from branch Chen Kang. A little bit under 1 we got from this year's Olympia. And to me personally, this guy has one of the best structures in the lineup. But will he be conditioned enough to be comparable with a guy like Urs Kalecinski, Chris Bumstead, even Breon Ainsley? It honestly seems like every year these Classic Physique guys are coming in more and more conditioned. Now, switching over to Urs Kalecinski, one of the most conditioned guys in the division, probably him and DaBoul. And there are some very high expectations for Urs Kalecinski going into this year's Olympia, but definitely for a good reason. He placed 4th last year his Olympia debut, took 3rd place in his first Arnold Classic, and also won 2 pro shows this season. And let's not forget that Urs Kalecinski is also one of the best posers in the Classic Physique division as well. So excited to see this guy. Now, switching over to DaBoul, we have a recent update from him. I did not put DaBoul in my top 10, but I would not be surprised if him or Wesley Vissers end up there. But the closer we get to this year's Olympia, I really like the physique of DaBoul more and more. I just wish this guy had a little bit more room to grow. Wesley Vissers as well. Now, also in Classic Physique news, this was posted up recently by Robert Timms, Mr. Classic Physique, the winner of last year's Texas Pro. I'm not sure if this image is actually recent or not, but Robert is currently in prep, and he will be competing in 2023 looking to head to the Mr. Olympia. Now, as I told you guys, AJ Sims Cement Factory is not working with any more open pros, but he does still coach Robert Timms, their longtime friends. Now, switching over to 212, we have a recent update from Angel Calderon. And look how short he looks next to Flex Lewis. Nothing against Angel, but Flex is already a short guy, so we know Angel is pretty small. But this guy was 4th at last year's Olympia. Some people are overlooking this guy. They think they can just push him over. But I think he's still going to be in that top 6. I'm excited to see the package that he brings. He comes in crazy condition. Also in 212 news, recent update from YunLong. Chris Cormier ran branch Chen Kang and YunLong through some poses. And as you guys know, Chris Cormier is probably one of the best posers of all time next to Lee Labrada, Sean Ray, Melvin Anthony. But hopefully he showed them some things that will stick and they will definitely stand out this weekend. I believe YunLong and Chen can find themselves within the top 5 in their respective divisions. Now, also in 212 news, we have a recent update from Keone Pearson, even though we can't see much. But I do believe that Patrick Tour is in Vegas working with Keone Pearson, Ian Valliere, also Michael DaBoul ahead of this year's Olympia. To my knowledge, this is Patrick's first time doing this, and I think this will be very beneficial for all of those athletes, but especially Keone Pearson. I believe he had a few mental issues in the last few days of last year's Olympia that really messed him up. So having Patrick there for him, I believe we're going to see the best Keone at this year's show. What do you guys think? Now, ending this video here was somewhat of a different segment ahead of this year's Olympia. On the left, we have Nick Walker, and on the right, we have the 212 Olympia champion, Derek Lunsford. You guys simply let me know in the comment section below, who do you believe is going to place higher at this year's Olympia? And maybe you throw in why. Are you Team Walker or are you Team Derek Lunsford? As always, I hope you guys did indeed enjoy this video. If you haven't done so already, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I have a lot of big videos coming this week for the Mr. Olympia. You do not want to miss them. I'm Krishan from Go Fitness, and that's it. I'm out.